Hi guys, welcome to TA Outdoors, and you're joining me here in a completely different woodland. I'm in a deciduous woodland that's owned by my buddy George, who you've seen on the show before. Now you may notice I've got a gun in my hands, and that's because I wanted to talk to you guys briefly about where the channel's going and the kind of different videos that we're coming up with and that we're doing. Now we're not going in a complete shooting direction, but we do have shooting videos on the channel. Those of you who are long-term subscribers will have seen that we've done quite a few shooting videos in the past. It's just lately it's been a hell of a lot of bushcraft, which is nothing, there's nothing bad about that, that's really good. But this is just my new airgun really, that I've been using quite a bit lately. And I'm coming here to George's giving me permission to come to this woodland and practice basically controlling vermin and practicing some bushcraft. You may have noticed obviously that I'm not in my kind of bushcraft attire, and that's because this is more of a recce trip where I've come to the woodland to have a look around and just scout out some areas for a new camp. The gun itself here is a Walther Rotex RM8. It's a 177 caliber. It's very accurate. I've been shooting at the moment field targets at 30, 35, 40 yards. The scope on it is one of the Hawk Vantage scopes that's 3 to 9 by 50. Really good scope actually. Very easy to use. The gun is quite heavy, but I'm not too worried about that, because most of the time I will either be lying down, crouching down, or using something as a natural support for the gun. But personally for me it does fit into my shoulder quite comfortably. And it's a great gun. It's got a 230cc buddy bottle at the front here. It's a pre-charged pneumatic, which is a PCP. So basically you pump it up with air, and there's the pressure gauge just here. Pump it up with air and you get a serious amount of shots out of it. I mean, so far I've had 180 really decent accurate shots. Before I've had to top it up a little bit to get more accurate. I do have a silencer on the end of it here as well. So the stock on the gun itself is Italian. It's Manelli Beach stock. A lovely finish to it, and it's got some nice checkering for grip over here on the foregrip and here down by the trigger. 2-stage trigger and an 8-shot rotary magazine. I believe it's aluminium. So it's a good sporting rifle really, and it will certainly do the job when it comes to vermin and pests. There is also a really nice thumb safety catch here, which I really like. It's like a 2-stage safety, so you can't push it in, you can't make it live fire until you push the second lever down. Just a nice extra safety mechanism for the gun. So what I'm doing today really, and why I'm in casual clothes, is I've come here for a recce, and I'm just taking a look at areas where I can maybe put up a hammock, and like I say, or build a small bushcraft camp. But also just to take a look at the resources that are around here and available, because there's completely different tree species to the ones that I'm used to over in my woodland. There's a really kind of traditional old English woodland, and it's unmanaged, completely unmanaged. So there's so many trees here. There's so much, obviously deadfall as well. As I was walking along earlier, I actually picked up a rusty old tin can that I found, and we're now going to use that for a bit of target practice. Well, there we go guys, that's just at 30 yards, playing around really, it's been zeroed in at 30 anyway, but that's quite a good grouping. But really that was just a test, just testing out the gun, and obviously enjoying the little woodland out here that George has. So hopefully you guys enjoy the videos coming up in the future. There's still loads coming up at the bushcraft camp, and we're still doing more to that bushcraft camp as well, but I just thought I'd show you this new area that I've got here. At the moment I'm just following the game trails because I'm actually looking for a place where I might be able to build a little permanent camp. Probably not on the scale of my big bushcraft camp, but certainly a nice fixed area that I can practice bushcraft in, and maybe a little hide or something to shoot from. But I'm no tracker guys, but I have found some deer prints here. There's one here, one going down here, and it's going over this stream. Well, I say stream, it's more of a ditch over here. So there is a water source here, but I certainly won't be drinking from it at the moment because it's not flowing very much and it's getting quite warm. Well, this is really exciting guys. So I've just had a stroll around the woodland. George has shown me it briefly before, but I've never actually been this far in. and there's so many game trails around. There's one just here to my left, if you can see this. So as you can see, really all the game trail is where an animal's found a natural kind of path through the woodland, and other animals follow that path, and it tends to make, it just wears it out. And you can see this here, it goes all the way down through here, winds around into the woodland. And I've just found the entrance to where they come into the woodland, where there's a fence up here with some barbed wire. So there's obviously a natural game route here. Well guys, hopefully you enjoyed seeing that and having a look at the gun I got recently, and also the really nice woodland that we've been at. That woodland is owned by my buddy George here, and you've seen George in the videos at the Bushcraft camp actually, where we cooked up a pheasant, and it was really nice actually, wasn't it? I can't remember what we did with it. We sort of deep fat fried it and put it in breadcrumb. Yeah, it was really good fun. But I'm here at George's farm, and really what I brought George along here to talk to you guys about really is both of us are not just going out to shoot for just fun. There is a point behind it and why we're doing more shooting videos on the channel, and the main thing really is vermin. So George's going to tell you a little bit now about what type of vermin that he gets here on the farm.
So as Mike said, we got several species of vermin on the farm. So the most common ones you'll sort of hear about, probably rabbits, pigeon, rats, magpies, crows. The damage some of these species do to a farm can be quite severe, particularly when you've got crops growing. So we've got a load of beans growing up there, and I can see a load of crows out there digging up all the beans that have just been drilled into the ground. Pigeons, obviously general pests, they'll pick up cereal seeds, sort of damaged crops, particularly sort of wheat. They'll tread that down, get enough of them on there. And your rabbits again, they can be very dangerous. We've got horses on the farm. They can often, have had it happen here unfortunately before, they can dig holes in the field and a horse can break its leg in it. They will also sort of attack, they will eat crops as well when they've just started poking through the soil. So yeah, it's a constant battle trying to keep on top of them really, and it's great to have help from someone like Mike, who's now taking up an interest in getting in and helping us manage the countryside around us.
So George, not only obviously are these vermin, but actually what viewers don't understand is you can actually eat some of these, can't you? And they're really tasty. I know I've had a bit of rabbit before, and it's very, very tasty, and there's so many different ways to cook it. Yeah,
that's fantastic. I mean, yeah, we often will cobble together a lot of stuff and make a game pie. You know, rabbit, as Mike's already alluded to, is great meat. It's really lean. I know everything tastes like chicken, but it does. Pigeon, quite dark, quite rich, sort of gamey meat. It can be quite tough to cook actually. But yeah, there's loads of great stuff out there. Loads of great wild game.
So it's not wasted. That's what we're trying to say, really, isn't it? It's not wasted food. Yeah. You know, I know things, obviously rats are, but they are a general pest and they do damage. But most of the stuff you can actually eat. Yeah, we try, and everything we can eat, we will eat. And I know people will be watching the show who, you know, maybe not familiar with shooting everything, but the aim for me, and you know, and for most shooters is not to go out there massacring things. It's about conservation and management. Sustainable, isn't it? Exactly. You have a responsibility as a landowner or a tenant farmer to look after the land that you're looking after, and part of that is managing the wildlife on it as well to some extent, because we have created imbalances over years through bringing in invasive species and I've seen that in the fishing industry as well. Yeah, so yeah, it's a responsibility that you have to sort of live up to if you're a landowner. Now I know obviously George has given me permission, guys, to do some more bushcraft. He has some small areas of woodland around the farm, which is really, really kind of him, and I can practice some bushcraft and hopefully do some overnighters at some point, and with a bit of luck George will join me on there as well. So we're going to do a bit of a mix up as well, bringing the kind of shooting and bushcraft together. Now I'm not obviously coming from a beginner's side of point of view. I'm not a experienced shooter, George is, but I've got my air gun, and I'm trying to do things the right way and have public liability insurance, be all the right safety equipment and everything like that. The gun slips, keeping it all covered. Now what I've done is I've recently joined BASA, which is the British Air Gun Shooters Association, and they're basically like they can cover you for public liability insurance, and there's all sorts of perks that you get, and they're looking after you as an air gunner really. And what they do is they give you these permission slips that you can just print out, and obviously George has given me his permission there, and it's just a signature really from the landowner, isn't it? Yeah, we've got a few public rights of way that cross through the land, so it's important. You know, anyone could challenge Mike on his right to be shooting there, and rightly so. We, us as landowners do not want to see people, you know, roaming into places where there could be animals, and you know, just shooting without permission, because it's dangerous and obviously can cause damage to the livestock as well. So Mike's completely going about it the right way. He's gone and got his permission. If anyone challenges him while he's walking around the farm, any of the walkers that you will find crisscrossing across the sort of the public rights of way, then he's got permission
permission slip to say I have the right to be here. It's got a contact number, so they can reach me or my dad to confirm that he's supposed to be there.